guys, Ivetulu Ayela here. You're welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're an old subscriber, thank you for always coming here. Thank you for watching this video and every other videos. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments and the subscription. We welcome the new subscribers, new viewers. You're welcome to this channel. So here we do the mental health with the scripture and your lifestyle. We believe in what God has done for us on the cross, and we look into the science part of it as much as it's going to help our brain and our mind. You can catch up with other videos on this channel where we've talked about the mind and stuffs, but today I'll be going into 5 bad brain habits. Some 5 common bad brain habits that we do and we don't count. But now it becomes when we continually do it, when we are on it consistently, when we keep doing it, it's eventually destroys our brain. And when it destroys our brain, it affects our mind. It's influence our mind, because our mind is the software of our brain. So I'll quickly go into it, and I'll be starting with what every woman does. I'm starting with the mothers and one of those things we've been trained to do as a girl child. When you don't multitask, it is believed that you are not capable of doing certain things. The world has done such that we multitask, but this is what I have come to believe, that even God, as much as he is omnipotent, he can do everything, he focuses on things. On the day 1, he made what was meant for day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and when it was the 7th day, he rested. The Bible said that God rests. So now I'm going to look into multitasking. One of those things we subject our brain to when we multitask is going forth and back. It looks as though it makes us efficient, but it stresses the brain. When we continually multitask, when we don't focus on one thing, when our attention is not on one thing but on many things, while we're pressing the phone, we're watching TV, you have not put your brain to master something. I remember what the scripture says, that seest thou a man diligent in his work, he shall stand before kings and not men. So diligence is not in just multitasking. Diligence is in understanding and focusing on what you do. Of course, I give it to some temperament that can't really multitask. So a temperament like sanguine can really multitask, because they don't really focus on being efficient in whole. They focus on getting it done. But unlike phlegm and melancholy, they cannot multitask. Ordinarily, they can't multitask. Not everybody can. They can't multitask. No matter how much you teach them, they can't. And that really helped them to master things in time and per time. When you have someone that is focusing on covering a bottle so well, they might be a male covering a bottle so well, and for a sanguine, you've covered it the way you want to cover it, and you're getting up with the cup, that's not it. So when we subject our brain to multitasking, we accomplish less, and we lose the ability to focus. So try and take your time on knowing things and being detailed about things. So the second thing is binge eating and overeating. Binge eating and overeating, you can't continually binge on food. This is typical of a sanguine. You can't continually binge on every food and eating excessively. You must come to a point where you stop eating when you are okay, even when you are not okay. Some meals you just feel like, I enjoy this meal. It's still different from I need to eat more. You enjoy the meal, it's okay. You have to stop. So binge eating is one thing that triggers the dopamine. No, not binge eating triggers dopamine. Sorry, food. Forgive me. Food triggers the dopamine release. Yeah, this is where I'm going. Food triggers dopamine release. Dopamine is an hormone in the brain that helps us to feel good. It makes us feel good. One of the brain hormone that makes us feel good. So when some people, when they want to feel good, is when they just eat good meal and they say, wow, I feel good. Some just feel good eating whatever they crave for, and they feel good after that. Now, when you subject yourself to overeating and binge eating, when you binge on everything and you eat excessively, it means you are subjecting your brain to continuous release of dopamine. You're telling your brain to keep releasing dopamine, keep releasing dopamine, keep releasing dopamine. Now, you can consider that as a stress to the brain and as a bad brain habit. It is, your brain is too tender, your mind is too tender to go through that all the time when you binge eat. So when you binge eat on every day and you can't say no to food, that is a bad brain habit. So as much as you are being careful of not gaining weight, be careful of what you put your brain through. So the third one here is dwelling on negative thoughts and negative thinking. Now, some common 5 negative thinking is guilty thinking. Oh, am I guilty here? Am I guilty there? Have I hurt someone? Do I have to be careful? We needed to master and help our brain to master not being guilty even when we're assessing ourselves. So another thing is mind reading. Oh, I think the way my husband is looking at me feels horrible. I think the way my teacher is looking at, when you keep reading the mind, you are feeding your brain negatively. And when we keep ruminating on those things, it weighs us down physically, emotionally. And when we are weighed down physically and emotionally, it inhibits the release of some hormones, some happy hormones. And when these happy hormones are not released, you just realize that, oh, you are not your best. Is that right here? So on healthy sleep habits. Now, according to the Sleep Foundation, they've identified that sleep is a short-term cognitive lack of sleep is a short-term. Lack of sleep gives a short-term cognitive impairment. Short-term, you just snap out, forget things, you lost yourself in a moment, and when you keep doing it continuously. So I give it to those that do night, and the nurses, the doctors, and all of that. It also affects the growth hormones, thyroid gland, and all of that. So poor sleep has been linked to dementia and some other brain disorders. So, and the last one is spending too much time in an enclosed space. I know someone that will always wind down the car when we are in the when we are in a hold up, just wind down and say, I need fresh air, I feel shocked. So if you are the kind of person like that, excuse yourself from an enclosed space, because you take in more increased CO2 instead of oxygen, and your brain needs oxygen to function. It needs oxygen to function. Now, why am I doing this video? Is because some of these things are the things we naturally engage ourselves in. Some of these things are the things we do, and we don't just do it once, we continually do it because we feel, okay, my body is adjusting to it and I don't find any trouble in it. Your brain is a person you must respect. If you want to enjoy your mind, if you want to enjoy the way you think, if you want to enjoy the way you perceive life, so those are the things you must enjoy. I hope to see you again. I love you and have a great day. Bye.